I'm telling you, you just can.
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Bienvenidos a Latinos en Roofing. Estamos aquí con un invitado súper especial que habla español.
Hola.
Para mí es súper importante poder hacer este webinar. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos súper perdidos. La mayoría de nosotros los latinos tenemos un problema. Hacemos nuestra website una y otra vez, pero nunca hemos llegado a la raíz del problema. Precisamente por eso yo dije, bueno, tuve el privilegio de conocer a Brandon hace un tiempecito, y él me estuvo hablando muchísimo de todo lo que estaban haciendo ellos en la website, todo lo que yo estaba perdiéndome, y yo le dije, Brandon, quiero que tú compartas todo lo que tú sabes con nuestra comunidad, y para mí, Brandon, es un orgullo que estés con nosotros. It's a pleasure you are here with us, and you will share all your knowledge with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm happy to share with you all and everyone on here. It's especially in the roofing industry, across the roofing industry, just what it takes to market your business online, to become successful, no matter what stage of business you're in. Whether you're a brand new roofing company, you're thinking about getting a roofing company and starting out on your own, or you've been in business for 20 years. Essentially, all the elements are the same. It just depending on what stage you're in as to when to implement certain things. So I'm excited to show you. So that said, can I get started?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. So hopefully we're sharing our screen here and everyone can see. So again, let me start by saying I'm with a company called Scorpion, and Scorpion has been in business for over 20 years. And why that's important is quite simply because we have 20 years of historical experience of having worked with home services companies across the nation, roofing companies, a lot of HVAC companies as well, a lot of the companies that you see and you work with every day. But ultimately, it's helping roofing companies to grow. And we've got over 900 employees. The majority of those employees are on the service and the product side. So what that means for all of our customers is they're constantly developing new technology and determining new ways to market their roofing company so that we can help them to grow, help them to get customers at the least cost possible. And so we have roughly 50 consultants across the U.S. that reach out and talk to many roofing company owners, helping them to do exactly that, which is grow their business. We have over 15,000 clients. Now, a lot of those also come from the franchise space. And why that's important is because we work with, whether a company is just simply trying to manage their business in their backyard, or they want to grow to 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 locations. It doesn't matter whether you have $200,000 in revenue or you've got $20 million in revenue. We work with people and companies across the entire spectrum. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, we're partnered with many folks that you know, many organizations that you already know of, whether it be roofing.com, Revolt, Limitless, Top Rep, Blue Collar Media Group. So there's several that we're focused with and we're actually partnered with. And we partner with these companies so that we can really understand the space much better. We can learn more about what it takes to become a successful roofing company so that we can couple our strategies with those companies.
And I love your strategies. I love it.
Thank you.
You bring me a lot of knowledge because I was missing a lot of the knowledge that I need to know to grow my business. And I think that's one of the problems. A lot of the small companies, they stuck on the same place just because we don't have the right people, the right knowledge, how we can grow our business. And I think so this one is going to be amazing for everyone. Yeah. You're going to share all your knowledge.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to share as much as I possibly can within the time that we have. But yeah, and so it really comes down to a couple things. There's a lot of things that people say, what do I do over the internet? What can I do online with my website to market our business? And there's a lot out there, but I'm hoping to really simplify it today into really 4 main pieces. And there are 4 primary things that you can do online in order to market your business. And but I do want to say this. All of the things that we focus on here at our company, Scorpion, but also just in general, you should be trying to, as it relates to marketing, drive to accomplish 1 or more of 3 things, which is grow your revenue, getting more leads, getting more customers. very, very important. Or finding the ideal customer, which that means getting maybe more of those types of customers that are higher paying, more of those roofs, those larger jobs, not just repair, but re-roofs, maybe commercial. Maybe you're also trying to dig into commercial some, or you're trying to get more storm work or more insurance work. But getting the ideal customer that's right for your business, or maybe you are already spending on marketing and your return on your investment, what you're getting back for what the money you're putting out, is not really lining up how you like it. In that case, we also help there. Now, here's the thing about that last one. If you don't know what your return on investment is, because you don't know how many dollars it takes that you put out in order to get a lead or a customer, then that's a problem in itself. So if you don't know that answer, then you definitely need to listen and either talk to your marketing company or talk to someone like Scorpion that can help you identify exactly what your cost per new customer is or your cost per lead is.
And I think that's really important, that when we want to hire somebody, they can help us. We have to understand the whole process, because sometimes we get stressed because we put money and we don't see any results. We put money, but we don't see where the money is going. And I think that's a really good idea. You will show us where the money is going when we have to pay, or how we can grow organic too.
That's right. That's exactly. And you bring up a good point, because so many companies place their money in advertising, but they don't know two things: either what they're going to get back from it or when they're going to get back. And so there are a lot of companies out there that you may do business with, and you may say, hey, here's $1,000 a month, here's $5,000 a month. And they don't explain it to you and say, hey, we're going to place this much money in a strategy that you won't see any money back from it for a year. Or they may place it all up front and say, look, we want to try to get you as many leads in day one as possible. But there's some important pieces to this. It's where's your money going, and then what is the expectation to get that money back? And it's so important that companies answer that question for you. So hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on some of this. And so I'll reference those things as I talk to some of these topics.
Okay.
Awesome. So one thing I want to let everyone know, though, that's extremely important is this. The demand for roofing companies and the services that you offer by roofing companies online is growing. So what that means is this: more customers that are looking for a roof repair, re-roofs, completes, whatever it is, are going online every day than ever before. In fact, if you look at the stats here, I mean, just the amount of people using mobile is up 17%. But overall, people going online to find roofing services is up 15% year over year. So they're not going anywhere else. Now, there's a lot of places that they can actually go and find their roofing company. A lot of people will depend on Google alone, and they'll read the reviews, or they'll go to Facebook and search on Facebook. But there's a lot of places, and so that's why it's so important that you place your business everywhere possible. And that not only that the information that you place your business on, so whether you're putting your business on Facebook, or you're putting it on yp.com as an example, or Google, make sure that everything is exactly correct and the same. Your website, your address, your phone number, everything's the same. There's no difference. So you want to keep everything consistent across the web. So roofing is growing online, and so you need to make sure that your business is there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about where those customers are going online. What does that look like? And there's a lot of places. This can get a little bit confusing. So I'll say this. So there's searching online, and just the search piece. And if you just look across the top here, you see customers search online. They go to social media, as I mentioned before. They'll see your website. Maybe they'll go back and check reviews on your company after they have found who your company is. And then they'll contact you. And then they'll share it across. You want to share their reviews, you want to share their experience, and they want to share it. Now, the problem is that you want to share positive things. So you have to make sure that you are on top of your reviews, especially as it relates to Google. So I want to go first into the first column here, which is really online search. So this shows us a couple of things. It shows us where customers are going. These are just a couple of examples. You see Google, Yelp, Bing, Google Business Profile. We're going to talk about that one. That one is extremely important. So I want everybody to definitely take note of the Google Business Profile. But those are the areas that people look for, and they will find a business in a roofing company. Now, what you see below that is our listings, SEO, advertising within Google itself, within Yelp and Bing. That there are sections on that page that show, is it a listings? Is it coming from SEO? Is it coming from advertising? Wherever that is. So it's important to also note not only that, hey, I'm on Google, but what are you on Google for, and where on Google are you? Because if you don't know those things, then you really won't know when to expect your return on investment, and you won't know how to grow that as well. So many businesses I talk to, I'll say, so how do you show up on Google when a customer's searching for you? And they'll say, yeah, we're number one. And I'll say, that's great. And so we look online, and I'll type in roofing customers or roof repair.
That's an insane example that happened to me. You search for my business, and surprise, I make a lot of mistakes. Nobody see me in the coast my area.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, and because it's so many customers search for their name. And what I want you to remember is this: the people who search for your name, yes, you want their business, but what you're really trying to do is get the people's business who don't know you already. You're trying to get the people who say, I'm looking for a roofing company. Those are the people you want to get their business. And so they type roofing custom or roofing company or roof repair near me. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we were talking about, so don't look for your name online. Sure, you can check that out and see what's there, but look for a roof repair near me or roofing companies in your city and see where you show up, or if you show up. That's extremely important. And we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to, I'll mention a couple things about social media, and you could really dive in deep here. But I think that whether you're leveraging Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is X, but whatever platform you're leveraging, Facebook for sure, and Instagram absolutely. There is, and if you're into TikTok, 100% a huge TikTok fan. I'll spend 6 hours just surfing TikTok. But whatever platform you're using, just know that it is very, very important, especially when you think about not only photos and messages, but video. Video is so important, and putting personality into video, because you have to think how many people will watch you if you're just being really stagnant and you're just mellow and you're not eye-catching. But you want to make sure that there's personality in it, whether you're dancing or singing or whatever it may be.
Are you going to start dancing to get attention?
That's going to be in the second section.
Okay.
Second section, yeah, the one that's not published. So no, social media. One of the things that I'm not going to go too deep on in this segment, but I want to take everyone to take note of, is email marketing. Make sure that whether you are a new company, you're just getting into business, or you've been in business for 10 years, capture the email addresses of every customer, because you've got a database of customers right in your hands. And so you want to be able to leverage that. You want to be able to send them messages and say, hey, there's a couple of uses to this actually. Hey, remember me? I did your roof 2 years ago. We've got a special. Let us come out and check your roof. Let us come out and look and see if there's any damage from the recent storms. You can also, though, capture certain customer information from the email address, and then tell places like Facebook and other technologies, hey, these are my customers. And so whether, believe it or not, if we have an email address or whatever, we can capture the information of that customer, what they look like online, what their behavior is. Mm-hmm. And then we can say, hey, go find more customers like that. And so you can leverage that information extremely well. So I just want to just make sure that you guys are understanding, capture the email information from every customer so that you can market to them, whatever way that may be, whether it be through social media or whether it be through just standard email marketing. And website, this is a standard. Do not shortchange your website. Do not do it. Make sure that it is extremely, it's built out extremely well in the respect that not only is it informative, but we have something we call the 5 C's of a website. You want to make sure that your message is clear and concise, meaning that I can go to your website and look and see everything you do and see and get a sense for everything you do, whether you do roofing or whatever. You just want to make sure that on the first page, it's clear and concise. You want to make sure that there are elements on your website to allow people to contact you. And I'm going to show you a couple of websites that will lead to that. Reviews. Every customer, try to get a review from. Essentially, if they've had a good experience. If they've had a good experience, try to get a review from them. If it's been a little bit shaky, and maybe you want to hold back a little bit, but every customer, I would just encourage everyone to send a link to say, please review us online, and make that accessible to them. If you ask them to go online and to do a review on your business, just know this, that 98% of them are not going to do it. You have to literally take it and put it in their hands and say, here you go. Please review me in your business and share the details about what I did for you. And that's going to be very important, especially for those of you that are going to RoofCon this year. You're going to see that there's some things happening with Google as it relates to AI that's going to change the face of how we search. Mm-hmm. And so I'll share more about that later, but make sure you're getting reviews from every customer. And then as it relates to your website itself, people are going to contact you, whether they're going to chat you, call you, text you, send you an email form, schedule an appointment on your website. Don't just have a website with a phone number there. And don't have a website with a phone number that can't be found either. You want to make sure everything is there up front and at the top. And I'll show you what that looks like as well, because they will share their experience on that.
No, that's a lot of good information. I don't talk too much because I love to learn everything, because this is what we need to grow.
Yeah, it is. And I appreciate you, again, having me on, because it is so important. And I love your passion to help the Latino community just ensure that they have all the knowledge they need in order to grow their business. And I love that about you guys and what your mission is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And something that I really like it is because you show me, you teach me a lot. And I will say, hey, I'm ready. I want to see, I want that service, because I think that we was struggling for a long time for this, because we don't have the information, because we are roofers, we don't technology. That's why we have to combine technology. But I think so it's really important to have the right people, mm-hmm. because it's not just have the website, it's to have the right people. They want to help us to grow. Now I'm talking every single person about my good experience that I happened to with you, because you teach me everything that I was missing.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's extremely important to us here at Scorpion, and it should be to every marketing company. And unfortunately, we find so many that don't share enough. They don't teach business owners how to market their business. And it's not a recipe for success. So hopefully we can do that for everyone. Let me get into one thing that I find, hopefully, and you'll find is important and beneficial to your business. So when we look across the business life cycle, mm-hmm. and that means that if you're in the launch phase of starting your business, or you're in the growth phase in the very early beginning where you're just growing like crazy, or you have been in business for several years and you can see that you're starting to kind of shake out. Maybe you're reaching a pinnacle point and things are starting to level out, or you're at your maturity, or you're facing decline right now and you're like, man, I'm losing market share. I am losing to some of my competitors that are coming up in the space. How do I secure that? If you think about the life cycle, there are, as I just mentioned, 5 different phases, if you would, that really explain this. But now this isn't a recipe to follow exactly. However, I will share with you this. If you're asking, what should I do in the very beginning? Website and reputation. Make sure that the first thing you do is you launch your website. You launch a good website, and what you want is you're essentially telling Google, hey, I'm here. I'm in the market. I'm in business. Even if you're not showing up yet, you want to capture that history. You want to make sure that your website is built well. It has a lot of good elements to it, but one of the most important things is just having a good informative website. Also, your reputation. You're already capturing reviews. Google Business Profile, I'm going to show you, is so important in this situation. And I know you really attach to that. And the reason is because it's absolutely free, and it's a free place that Google gives you to share your business information. And so they say, hey, build a little mini website, if you would, on Google, and it builds up reviews for you. It shows information about your business. You can post to it. All those things, you can treat it like almost like a website and a posting or social media tool at once. It's just a great little place to house all that information and for people to know about you. But as you move through the life cycle, I mean, you can see that, eventually you want to add on paid advertising, SEO. You want to, now I do encourage you to start social early as well, but I know that some of you aren't in social every day, and I'm certainly not a person to just live in social, but you definitely want to make sure that you're representing your business on social media.
Something before you go to the next one. I'm thinking so for a lot of companies, when I see this curve, I see maybe one company started this year, maybe the company has 5 years, maybe they have 10 years. I'm thinking so they stop on the same, just launch, just a website.
Yeah.
We think, I have a website, you have everything. And that's a big mistake. That's why I feel so important. Just remove the PCC, because we don't know anything about that. Oh, we just stop on the website.
Yeah.
That's it. And Google. And we think, so, we got it. We did it. And that's that big mistake that we made it. Because when you build with the website, it's just the beginning of all the good things that you can do on your business. This is why we see a lot of the companies, they're growing so fast. Wow, why did it? Well, they invest on their own marketing.
Yeah.
And with the right people, they know exactly all the PCC, the SEO. I remember when you explained me, I was like, oh my God, that I needed all of this information. That's what I'm so passionate right now for bringing this knowledge to the community, because we think website, it doesn't. Yeah. It's going to do everything for us. And no, that's a big mistake that we have.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, I'll liken it to this. It's like wrapping your truck in the most amazing wrap ever, and then park it in the garage and never bringing it out.
It's exactly.
Yeah, no one's going to see it. No one even knows you're around. Your neighbors don't know you're around because it's parked in the garage. Having a website is so important because it is your representation. I want you to think of your website as your salesperson. In fact, it is a fact that your website as a salesperson, make sure it represents your business. It will speak to and meet more people than any 1 or 2 or 3 salespeople can do combined. Mm-hmm. So when you think about that, you want to make sure your salesperson is dressed for success. They can speak well. They're saying all the right things, and they're closing business. Think of your website that way because it does all of that. Mm-hmm. So having a website is so important. And then just as you mentioned, you want to take that website and take that truck out of the garage and drive it around town. Make sure it's always going. It's always going. And it's not only always going, but it's always in the neighborhoods that you do business. Mm-hmm. You don't want to drive the truck around somewhere that you don't do business because it's not going to do you any good. So make sure your website is in front of those customers that are looking for you. Now, let me make one little comment about search advertising. Everybody remembers the yellow pages. Mm-hmm. Nobody would look through the yellow pages just for fun. It was no fun because it was just ads. However, you only went to the yellow pages whenever you needed something. So basically, we call that pull advertising. So it just says that, hey, you've got people that are saying, I need this service. So, and then you raise your hand and go, well, I'm here, and then let me pull them into my business. I want you to think about that with search, that the yellow pages, they've pushed that to the side, and now everyone goes to Google, Yahoo, Bing, and Facebook even, and they search for a business or a service. And so they're already in the market. Literally, you have people in this very moment looking to buy something in this neighborhood around us right now. There's a number of people that are right now going, roofing company near me. And you need to make sure that if you're in this neighborhood and you do business here, that you have a chance at that business. So important. PPC, SEO, social media will all help you do that. And then you can build on that by adding content and in blogging as well. And here's why that's important. Google loves people and companies who publish content. Why? Because they want the people that use Google, like me and you, for other things, they want them to be informed. So they reward companies who create content and say, hey, we're going to create this article and it's going to say how to know if you need a roofing company or a roof inspection, right? Or someone to come out and look after a hailstorm. And Google goes, thank you for publishing that. Thank you for doing that for our readers. We're going to reward you. And so they give you some credit and some points there. So it's so important that you build the content on your website and anything that you do, whether through video, whether it be through blogs or social media. And then, as I mentioned, video is so important. Obviously, you know that Google owns YouTube. Video content is where it's at right now. It catches people's attention. So important that eventually you get to the point where you're creating videos. Now, you can bring all of this stuff up to the front of the business in launch phase. It's perfect. But normally, new businesses don't have the revenue or the amount of capital to invest in this. So that's why we try to taper it out a little bit. And then, eventually you'll get into display ads and behavioral ads and that sort of thing where you're advertising on Facebook or Insta with specific ads pointed to a specific audience. So
that's really good information.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's great. It's so important for you. And if you've never heard anything like this, challenge. I want to say challenge. Ask your marketing company. Hey, tell me about this. Tell me, what do you recommend for businesses that are in my position and why? Why? Make sure do it logically. Make sure that they teach you that, because that's extremely important. So I want to talk about those things. So I mentioned earlier on that there are 4 primary areas when we really look at it as a whole, like 4 primary areas that I want you to pull out of this in order to establish a digital foundation. There are a lot of areas that we could mention, but I'm going to really kind of build everything into one or into 4 primary areas. And it's similar to, like I said, likened to a roof, into the layers on a roof. At the very bottom there, you see a website. It's important in your listings, but again, website, build a strong online foundation. Having a website that is accurate and thorough and eye-catching, also that is a good closer, that's a good online salesperson, making sure you have that. 2, listings. We're going to talk about that as well, which is like, where on the web, across the web, is my business listed?
Okay.
Very, very important as well. The more places you're listed incorrectly, the more Google recognizes you. And I want you to think of it like this. It's like this. If there are 100 people that are in a room that are all looking for a roof, and you've got 10 roofing companies sitting out by the door, and they're trying to get in, and Google's the bouncer, and Google goes, hey, first person, they walk up. Well, guess what? Google's looking at the way they're dressed, and then they talk, they speak, and they go, great, what do you know about roofing? Okay, they've got some good information. How well do they speak? Okay, now, and then they look across and they go, who all knows this company over here? And a lot of hands raising. We know them. We've heard of their name. We don't know them, but we heard their name. Then they go, okay, you're good. You have some credibility. Come on into this room of people that are looking to buy. That's really the website and the listings. It's everywhere you're listed across the internet. Google gives you some credit for that. And they say, people know you, we're going to let you in. It's a lot like credit, actually. It takes a while to build that up. But once you build it up, it really grows and it really gets large. And then you go into SEO. And SEO is this term that, search engine optimization. A lot of people don't know what it really is.
I wasn't know what it is.
Yeah.
When you explain me everything, then I was on another conversation with another persons, and they start talking about, that's what I told you. Hey, you made me look really smart because sometimes we don't know. And I was like, oh my God, I learned so much from you. That's what I know. This is a lot of value, because explain a little bit about the SEO, because a lot of people, maybe they don't know. That was the same like me.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be confusing. And quite frankly, and one of the reasons it is to no marketing company's fault. It's simply because of this. Google holds to themselves the secret as to what it takes for them to really, the exact recipe for them to say, I recommend this company first, this one second, third, fourth, fifth. But what they do is they list a lot of things and they go, hey, this is important to us and this is important to us. And they make 600 updates to the what they think is important to list a company every year. So every year they make 600 algorithm updates or more. And so, and a few of those are really important. But it's things like, and we're going to talk about this, things like your reviews. How many reviews do you have? How good are the reviews? How frequently do you get them? If you just pour a bunch in 1 month, and let's say you get 25 or 50 in 1 month, but then you go 4, 5, 6, 8 months, whatever, without any reviews, they know what just happened. You did a little push, but it's not an ongoing business practice. They reward good business practice. So, and then also, how well is your computer? I'm sorry. How well is your website built, and how well does your business represent online? So, that said, we're going to get in. I'm going to list a couple of areas and show you exactly what that looks like. But then there's the advertising piece that lays on top of that SEO that says that, man, I want to get in front of these people quick, and I want to be able to do it in areas that I can't get Google to recommend me through SEO. Then what you can do is you can buy space on Google in those areas. And so I'll show you that as well. So that said, I'm going to go to the next. I'm going to make sure that I plug in here because I think my computer is about to go dead. So I just need a little cord here. There's a cord right over here. So I want to make sure that I don't go dead here on my computer. I got a few more percents. But that's it. Let's start off by talking about website. Here's what's important about website. If you look on the screen, you're going to see various things that are extremely important about a website. So when you go to build a website, there's certain elements on here you absolutely have to have. So do myself a favor, do yourself a favor. Make sure that when you build your website, thank you so much. I will get logged in here. Sorry for the interruption. And I don't know what you're seeing over there.
I still see them.
You still see? Okay. I don't, but that's okay. I will do my best to find it here. Do this. Sorry. So when you're thinking about building a website, don't just build a website and throw something up. You can see it? Mm-hmm. I don't see it, but it's perfect. Thank you. So make sure that you're building a website, a strong website with a lot of great elements. When we think about a website, in fact, I don't know if I can show here. I can't see the screen, but maybe we can get that up in just a minute where I can take you guys online. But I'll look here. So looking at, you want to make sure your website is fast. It's important because why? Because so many people are searching now from their cell phones, and they want to know that and Google wants to know that the website is fast. Why? Because they're on cell signal, and they need that website to pull up quickly. Anything that's slow, Google goes, that searcher is going to have a heck of a time trying to get that website up, so they're not going to reward it. Make sure that your content is unique. Did you know that if you service, let's say, 3 cities, let's say you're in DFW, and you service Frisco and Plano and Prosper, and all those cities, although they're together, let's say if you build a page that says Frisco Roofing Company, and then you have another page on the website that says Plano Roofing Company. If the same information exists on both of those pages and the only thing you changed was the word Plano and Frisco, Google doesn't give you any credit for that, really. They actually will only look at one of those pages. Why? Because it's duplicate content. So what you want to have is you want to have unique content across all of those pages. If you have something on Frisco, a page on Frisco or Dallas, you want it to say specific things about the places in Dallas. And you want each one of them to be different. Atlanta, Georgia, wherever you have offices, make sure it's unique. It follows best practice, and that's something that it's hard for the company that owns the website to really know, because there's so many elements to SEO on the back end of when they build a website. But if you've got a really good marketing company, they'll go in and they'll analyze the site. One of the things that we do is we do analyze the site like I did for you. And we go in the back end and we look at how the site's built to make sure that we say, what are they currently experiencing? Is it built well? Make sure that you're getting alerts about new leads. Make sure that you've got a simple layout. You have calls to action. Believe it or not, it's just like this. It's like a salesperson that doesn't ask for the close. you've got to ask for the close. And I know you told me that one day you were listening to me talk to a customer, but you have to ask for the close or you won't get it. So it's just simply as this. You want a website that reaches across the table and says, Mr. Customer, will you hire me as your roofing company? If your website doesn't do that, it's not going to close as many people as it could if it did. And what I mean by that is this: have texting a capability on your website that the person that's on your website can text you. Have calling, have form fill, have a chat function. Because some people like me, if I'm in a meeting and I need a service, I'm always using chat functions on the websites. And I go and I chat the business. Hey, I ask them a couple of questions and I go, okay, great, can I schedule a meeting or an appointment? Because I don't have time to call and I got people around me that I may not want to talk to in front of anyway. So I try to do as much as I can online. So make sure that there are multiple elements to your website and it's not just this plain, just static thing that doesn't really catch your eye. So website is the foundation. And then as we move on to the second one, I hope that this, let me see here. I don't know if we can change that. How do we change that page?
Just click the.
No, I'm missing here because I can't see that page. I don't know what happened to it, but
You can help them.
there we go. Yeah, well, okay. Well, let me see here. I don't know what's going on here. Why it's changing back and forth, but we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but that's okay. I'll continue to
Just
talk.
explain me a little bit about Google until they fix it.
Yeah. So, thank you. So, let me say a couple things just as it relates to Google Business Profile, because that's the next piece, and this is one outside of your website. Man, I really think this is one of the most important elements, and maybe you can just change to show the screen or something, But go to Google Business, and they used to call it Google My Business, your GMB, but now it's called Google Business Profile. Go to your Google Business Profile, and if you have a website, you need to build your profile. So go and Google Business Profile, build my business, and make sure that you have your address in there, you have your phone number in there, and you have your website first. Now, here's the thing. If you do not have, there's so many roofing companies that don't have an address, and maybe they work out of your home, or maybe you have a PO box listed. So an important element about that. If you do, and you do not have a true business address where Google recognizes the commercial address, what you have the option to do is you have the option to do a Google service listing and tell Google, hey, I don't have an address that I want to publish for this business, but choose Google service listing and a service area listing and tell it where you service. And so what Google will do is you can essentially draw a map around the area and the geography that you actually service. So do that when you're setting up your Google Business Profile, because Google will recognize that and say, oh, they're great. They do service this area. You can publish pictures to it. Make sure that you're updating your Google Business Profile pretty regularly because Google likes that, and they think that's extremely important. And they want to make sure that you're listing your pictures and also your reviews. Again, you want to make sure that if you have reviews, it's a great way to kick that off. Try to get amass as many reviews as you possibly can in a short period of time. So Google Business Profile, make sure that you go on. Now, another place that you can go outside of Google Business Profile is build your Facebook. You want to build your business's Facebook page, because what happens in this, even if you don't have very many followers yet, because in the beginning you won't, and it may take you a while to do that. It's as it would any home service company. But you want to build a Facebook page that has your business information on it, that's linked to your website, and so on, because Google does recognize that, and obviously Facebook does as well. But whenever someone were to look up your business, you want them to see your business URL, the website. You want them to see your Facebook page. If you have a Twitter account, your Instagram, you want all of that to pull up on that page. Because here's why you want it to. If you don't pull up on that page in every spot possible, your competitors will. And so Google has some interesting stats, and I think the last stat I saw was that when someone or a customer searches for a roofing company specific for the name, about 13% of the time, that customer will actually go to a different company, although they looked for your name. They'll choose a different company that is on that same page. So what you're ultimately trying to do is to make sure that they're not listed anywhere on that page. You've got all of the real estate. So Google Business Profile, Facebook pages, and any other listing area. We use something here, that called Power Listings, or essentially it's Power Listings, and it allows us to publish our customers' website, business information. They call it the NAP, name, address, phone number of the business, across dozens and dozens of websites out there that are directory listings, so that Google sees that they're published across the website or across the internet, and it has all their business information on it. So I'll pause here just for a second. I think that as we get set up again on some of the other screens, there is a couple of other elements I think that I want to capitalize on. One of the questions that I often get is, where do I place my reviews? Because you have Google Business Profile, you have Yelp, and Yelp is a place that, man, so many people comment on, because they, it seems like it's the first place people go to complain, and it's definitely that area. I mean, and look, don't think that it's just for restaurants and places like that. It's for home service businesses as well. It's for everything.
Talking about the reviews, what is the best place, Google or Facebook? Well, how we can merge both? Yeah.
So Google is to me is the go-to. It is the number one here. It's the number one place for me. If you ask me where should a business go, Google is most important to me. Facebook is also important, but you want to start everything typically on Google. Yeah, it's a good question. And you can see on this page there are a lot of icons and a lot of logos that are represented here. Instagram, yp.com, across the board. But ultimately, one of the things you should pull from this is this. Customers will find you a couple of different ways. They'll go to yp.com. They'll go to eLocal or wherever it may be, yellowpages.com. Or they'll go to Google and they will look up roofing company on Google, and then yp.com or Yelp or BBB will have their own website there. And then they'll click through there and then look for their roofing company there. So that's why it's so important. If you're not on Yelp, in fact, I'll show you in just a second how important it is to make sure that your business is listed on Yelp as well, because Yelp is taking up so much shelf space on Google right now. That if you're not listed there, then ultimately you're not getting a shot at that business. And I'm an odds person, so the thing is that if you're just increasing your odds as the more places you're listed. So the next place, we talked about Google Business Profile, local maps. So just to let everybody know, and I'm going to show you what the click-through rates of these places, of these areas are on Google. But make sure if you get that Google Business Profile up, your Google Maps, it's going to help your map section. Again, one of the things, there's a couple of things that Google looks at, and they say, look, we really take into account these 2 to 3 things as it relates to whether to show you on the maps. And it's proximity is number one. Like, based upon where the customer is and where they're sitting when they search, where are the businesses that are right around them? And so Google goes, hey, I've got 2 businesses. And if you'll notice, they show 3 there often. And there's a 4th one, sometimes it's on the top, and it says sponsor. That's because people pay to be there. But it looks like a regular map listing. But Google will go, where are you sitting? Great. We got 2 companies here that are right outside your door that offer the service. But guess what? If there's not a 3rd that is as strong as there is someone that may be 5 miles down the road, they will pick that company that's 5 miles down the road because they have more credibility, and they'll put them in there, although they're not right next to them. So this is why it's so important to make sure that you can see on the screen, you've got 50 reviews, 232, 131 that are represented here. If you can amass and get to 3 digits on those in terms of over 100 reviews, make sure that they are 4.7 and above. You really want to go that 4.7, 4.8 and above. So important. And one of the other things I want to call out on this page, you can see on that second listing, it says definitely recommend this company for roof needs. What Google is and what you guys are going to start to see is that Google, it's important when you deal with a customer, tell them, please be as specific as possible about your review, because Google is going to look at what they put in the review to determine if they're going to show you or not, or determine if it helps to show you. So if that customer said, they replaced my metal roof and best metal roof ever, loved it, great experience, I recommend them for metal roofing. Well, if someone's searching for metal roofing in that area, there's a good chance that Google's going to show you because that customer has put metal roofing in that review. So very important.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this local maps area is so important. I will tell you this, one other thing. Proximity, again, where you're located. This is kind of that first step into organic optimization and presence. It's like, if you want to get into what do I need to do to get Google to recommend me? Focus on the maps first. Really focus on maps, which means that your backyard. And some of the guys here have a term they call 5 mile famous. You want to be 5 mile famous. You want to really own that spot around you, and don't spread yourself thin. Go as deep as possible in the area that you serve. Start small, and the deeper the better, in terms of the more you're listed there, the more times you're on the page in a small area, and then you can start broadening yourself out. Don't just know this. If you're in a great area that's highly populated, like DFW, you've got a couple 100,000 people, let's say Plano or whatever. Don't go, I'm going to do Plano, I'm going to do Dallas, I'm going to do Fort Worth. Why? Because frankly, there's enough business in Plano to get you started. Master Plano, and then start building out from there. So,
Thank you for letting me know.
yeah.
I want to jump everywhere.
Yeah, it's only natural though, because it's how we think. So, here's a couple of interesting stats about reviews, and it's very interesting because so many people, they think about reviews as a business, but sometimes they don't know how much to put on your reviews. 72% of customers will not buy anything until they read reviews. 7 out of 10 people will not buy anything, especially something that's as costly as a roof. And frankly, especially something that is a low barrier of entry to open a business as a roofing company, because sometimes there's not enough restrictions holding that roofing company back to demand that they do a good job. So they look at customer reviews. 89% of customers will read companies' responses to reviews, so they'll look and read line by line. I know when I'm going to go on vacation, if I'm looking at a hotel, I want to read a couple things. Tell me, is it clean? What does the bed feel like? Do they have great pillows? Am I going to sleep well? That's kind of the first things I look at. And then I can get into all the other stuff too. But I read the reviews, and so many people do. So you can see almost 9 out of 10 people will read the reviews. So going from what we talked about, going from the map section into organic, and you can see this area that's on the right side of the page, it's represented. I want you to imagine above that area is where the maps are listed. And below that is the organic listings, okay? And just notice, it's very important to get on the first page. It's so important. The more you grow on that first page, it's important, because each spot that you grow means multiples in terms of the amount of people that click on you and choose you. And I'll share that with you in just a second. If you look here, the right side of the screen, you're going to see the search engine result page of Google. And let's pretend as though this is roofing. The top spot, LSAs, local service ads, Google guaranteed, whatever you call them. If you don't know about this, and you are a new business that is coming up, or your business that simply doesn't have LSAs yet, I highly recommend this. Number one, why? Because they're affordable. They're an affordable lead source. Here's the thing, though. Google does a background check on every company before they put them there. So you have to go through this background check in order for it. Why do they do that? Well, because Google is guaranteeing that customer satisfaction. And so they're saying that, and if you can look, and if you Google today or Google now, you'll see on roofing, Google roofing, there's a little eye there. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. There it is. It's around here somewhere. It's a little eye. Click on that, and it will tell you exactly what Google guaranteed is through Google, and the LSAs are. They're essentially telling the customer, hey, if you choose somebody out of this section, we will guarantee you satisfaction up to a certain amount of dollars. But what drives this is reviews, number of reviews, frequency of reviews. There's several things, and also it's a paid section. So you're essentially paying per lead here. And you really can't do that on anywhere else on Google. You can't pay per lead. You pay per click, but you don't pay per lead. So this is a great spot. But you can see that LSAs, 14% of customers will pick their roofing company here. The next section is the paid pay-per-click ads, which means you pay for every click that they have, that they give you. That ultimately gets around 11% on any given area. So look, above the map section, right here, you get 25% of customers will choose their roofing company in these two spots. And then you've got the map section. Maps, 25 to 30% really represent that people will choose their roofing company in this section. Now remember, it's about proximity. It's about number of reviews. It's about how good your reviews are. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you are capitalizing in your backyard, and you've got, you're very well set up, and your Google business profile. It drives that. It's so important. And then below that are all your organic. 50% of all of the visits of every roofing customer that Google's roofing will choose their roofing company. 50% of them will choose their roofing company below the maps in the organic section. And here's what's crazy about it. There's anywhere between 7, 8, 9, 10 listings under the maps, let's say. And the very first spot, this first one you see here, gets about 26% of all the visits. That first spot gets as many as all three here on the maps. And you see that Yelp represents that. And that's what I was talking about earlier. If Yelp is number one, some people will bypass that and go to find a local company. Mm-hmm. But if you're also listed on Yelp and you've done a good job with Yelp, then if they click through to that, it gives you a chance at that business as well. So making sure that you're listed in all of these areas, you're doing LSAs. If you're doing PPC, that's great. Make sure that you're doing it well, because it takes a lot of skill to do it well, and to make sure that you have a good low cost per lead. Make sure you're listed here and then here as well. So,
and this one is something that we can do it with really low cost, but we don't do it because we don't have the right information. We don't know how to start. We don't know about anything like this. Yeah. We're missing a lot of the good things that we can start doing maybe years ago.
Yeah, that's true. And that's one of the challenges that I think that businesses are going to have. And here's where I think that really applies. To be listed in the organic section, which is, again, everywhere here in the maps and then below, represents 75% of wherever everyone goes. It takes time. And so what that means is this: you're paying a marketing company money every month to put in work to gain Google's trust and credibility on your business, so that they will show you there. It takes months before you ever see a return on investment. So if you plan to capitalize on this, if you plan to get business from the internet, and you want to really represent your brand and make sure that your business is showing well, organic is a great place to go. You just will not see a return on your investment for several months. Mm-hmm. But when it comes and you are listed and you have very prominent placement on Google, it comes in waves, because your brand is high. And plus, it adds value to your brand. Just know that if you were in paid ads and you said, I want to make sure that my brand is known, and if someone comes to purchase your brand, they say, I want to buy your roofing company, and they want to say, well, a lot of it is around the value of your brand. Well, if you're everywhere and you get all of your leads just through paid advertising, mm-hmm. they're saying, well, if you cut that switch off and you no longer pay them, then you're nowhere. Essentially, no leads are coming in. But if you're an organic, mm-hmm. then it took you a long time to get there. There's no switch to cut off. it takes you a while if you just stop doing everything all at once. It takes you a little while to drop back down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if they can take over your business or do whatever they want, and you don't have to make major shifts in order to really just keep that spot. So, and plus it's where the majority of everybody goes to choose a roofing company. So very important. But, this just shows you exactly what I was mentioning before. This is below the map section here. And this shows you the proportion of clicks of visitors. So based upon what spot do they choose. Mm-hmm. So you can see the first spot, it gets 26, 27% of the visits on organic. The next one, 15. And if you go down to the bottom of that first page to the 10th, it's about 2%. And so you can look at that by going from, 9th spot to the first spot, you're getting 10 times the amount of visitors on your website. And you can imagine that for a keyword or search like roof repair. So important. Every spot counts. Get to the first page as fast as you can, and then be strategic and smart about the way you get to the top of the first page.
Well, that's a good, if we have one strategy on this one, but the thing is, if we don't know, we have to hire in somebody that can help us. Yeah. Well, that's the other problem. We think we can do everything. Like me, I want to do everything, but no, that's a big mistake. We have to be with the right people, and that way they can help us more easy and less headache.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of, if you're working in your business or working on your business. As a business owner, you want to, as quickly as you can, have people working in your business, but you to work on your business. And I find so many business owners, they try to do some of this stuff on their own, and some guys are amazing at it. But there is a point of time where you reach your capacity and you go, I cannot run my business and do all this as well. Mm-hmm. So you've got to hand it over to a marketing company that really knows their stuff. My recommendation is this: make sure that they know digital marketing. They can explain the why. The why is so important, and that they know your space. They know the home services space. They know the roofing space. It's very important. So, earlier I mentioned just when you can flip a switch and pay Google to be there. I wanted to show you this. Here's what you see on this graph is this. If you move from left to right, I want you to notice a couple things. The left to right is time, and it's ultimately how long of time it takes to do something. And then from the bottom to the top, you're looking at number of leads, if you would. How many leads am I getting in? So you can see that this line here moves across time. And is that working? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're almost at the end.
Oh, yes. Okay. So you can see it moves across the line here, and over time, it shows that it takes a while to get your leads up through organic, mm-hmm. but you can pay per click to get immediate leads. So it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
This is the magic.
That's exactly right. So for those of you out there that say, hey, I need leads tomorrow, I need leads the next month, I need leads in the next 3 months, just know that you can't do that through SEO. You're going to have to do that through paid advertising, and because you got to pay and say, put me to the front of line, Google, Facebook, because I can't wait for you to trust me. I've got to pay you. It's no different than going to a restaurant and being in the back of the line and slipping them a 20 to get in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So that said, I just want to encourage everybody, but we try to take every single customer that we work with. We make sure that they understand the importance of ranking and SEO, because it's a long-term success game. But if they need leads quickly and they need to make sure they keep that flow going, we will do paid advertising as well.
But this is a really good example. I really like it because that's how they show. Because we think as soon as we have the website, we think this is a magic. It's going to get leads and everything. But it's a lot of work behind that.
Yeah, it is.
It takes time. But we have to have the right strategy so that way we can grow our business.
That's exactly.
I love the example.
Yeah, it's great. And I've seen customers that have a great organic presence, and they're spending the exact amount of money as this company is, but it's just that this company has been doing it for a longer period of time and has really established their SEO. Mm-hmm. And this company is getting 10 times the amount of leads as this company, and they're spending the exact same amount of money. Mm-hmm. All because that company invested right and said, hey, we're going to take $1,000, $2,000, and invest it in the company for long-term growth. And it gets SEO. Getting to the edge. So it's so important to make sure that you're investing in SEO, you're investing in PPC as well.
Because we see a lot of, I have a lot of friends. They are doing really good on Google, and they told me, hey, we have this much lead every single day, and this is per month. But that was a lot of work behind. It's not like, okay, one day I'm open my Google business and they will show up by nowhere. We don't do the right work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And to your point, though, you make a good point. Just know that Google is kind of the big gorilla in the room. However, there are so many people that don't go to Google. They may go to Thumbtack. We're actually one of the first marketing companies to partner with Thumbtack, so that we put our roofing companies and our customers on Thumbtack as well, because so many customers are going to places like Thumbtack in order to find their roofing company. So it's extremely important to make sure that you're just not putting all your eggs in one basket, but you're spreading the love out.
Mm-hmm.
So advertising, again, the two places you can advertise on Google guaranteed, they're called LSAs, up at the top, and great place because it's a pay-per-lead-esque service. And it's driven a lot by proximity. It's driven by your reviews. And then below that in the sponsored section. I'll explain this real quick. Here's why. If you can say to yourself that you're not incredibly proud of or think your website is effective, I would not do paid advertising here in the sponsored section. And here's why. You're paying for every click that comes to your website. At that point, let's say you've paid $10 or $20 for someone to choose your website and your link. You're trusting everything you've got at that moment for your website to close that person. If your website's not good, they're not going to close it. If it doesn't ask for their business, it's not going to close it. If it's not well written, it's not going to close it. The difference is this: a well-written website, somebody that it's really well constructed, may close 1 in every 5 customers that come to the website. They could close as many as 1 in every 5, versus a website that is really not good that will close 1 in every 15. And here's the difference in that. Now take $20 and multiply that times 5, right? And ultimately you've got $100 cost per lead, because it took 5 people to see it and 1 person to choose it. 15, now you've got a $300 cost per lead versus a $100, all because the website didn't do a good job. So do not, in my advice would be, do not invest in PPC sponsored ads until your website is good enough to say that it can convert people and really convince. Because Google ads are getting more and more expensive every single year. It's going up. It's going up. So you have to be really good at running Google ads in order to yield a good return. And you need to make sure that you have a good website as well. That's why every single customer that we take on, we rebuild their site, because we want to. Otherwise, you get pointing fingers and going, well, I didn't build your site. I can't help that you're not getting customers. We're sending people to your website, and it's your website company's fault. So, and then just some good news for roofing companies. The amount of when you look at ads, if you're doing ads, the amount of visits that are occurring for roofing ads is growing every year. It's up 24% year over year. So it's extremely important. The business is there, the customers are going there, and they're choosing their roofing companies. So it's a great place to go. You just have to have a really good strategy on advertising. And what you want to happen is this. Ideal scenario is this. You're getting the best return on investment. What that means is, I just talked to you about the difference in a $100 cost per lead to a $300 cost per lead. The difference is you want your leads to rise, and the amount of leads you're getting to increase for the amount of money that you're spending. But what you want is, you want your cost per lead to go down. So you want more leads for less money. And the only one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you are not just relying on one place and you're placing your ad on one place, but you've got your ads spread across, Bing and Google and LSAs and on social, and you're finding out which one is giving you the best return and the most leads for every dollar that you spend. And the only way, and that's why we provide our customers with reporting that shows them, we spent this much, here's how many leads you got, and here's where they came from. Because it's very important to show people that. So I know that was a lot, but ultimately, again, just to wrap that up, there are 4 primary areas. Make sure that you're really focusing on these 4 areas when you think about your website, you think about your business listings, you think about your SEO, both in the Google Maps. Go to your Google business profile, build it up. Do not neglect it. Take care of that thing. And also paid advertising, which is through LSAs and PPC. So hopefully everyone will take those steps. And I know there's a lot more to it that we can go into some subsequent segments from here, but some really good information out there.
Well, you have a really good information, and a lot of the people that watch our webinars, they know, because I'm always talking too much, but this time I can talk. You have all the good information, and really thank you, because you teach us all of these little things that is there and that will help us on our business. And right now I'm going to call in Spanish. Yo creo que estamos en el momento donde tenemos que buscar quién nos va a ayudar a crecer nuestro negocio. Muchas veces anteriormente queríamos, ¿quién me enseña? ¿Cómo lo hago? Yo creo que ese es el momento donde tenemos que buscar quién es la persona que va a hacer nuestro website, quién es la persona que va a ayudarnos con una estrategia, porque lo que queremos es crecer. Así como estamos trayendo demasiado entrenamiento para nuestra comunidad latina, yo creo que es importante que traigamos las herramientas, a bring the tools, y las aplicaciones que nos van a ayudar a crecer. And we bring the tools and apps, that way we can grow our business on the right way.
Yep, that's right.
Because right now, who can help me to do my website? Who can help me to grow my business on the internet? Yeah. And I think that right now that's really important to have the right information.
It is. And hopefully, Scorpion, there are a lot of great companies out there, some really good ones. And Scorpion, we really focus on making sure that you can come to us for everything, whether it be building a website, doing SEO, PPC, whatever that may be. We handle it all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.